How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is there anything I can get you before we get started at all?
No, I think I'm good.
Alrighty. What did you want to talk about today?
Oh, where should I start? I've been having a really rough time lately. I feel like I'm just very overwhelmed with all of my commitments, like between school and volunteering and work. Like it's Christmas season basically now in retail, and things are really ramping up, and I just feel so stressed.
Okay, so it sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed and stressed just trying to deal with all of your responsibilities and kind of juggle work, school, as well as your own social life.
For sure. Yeah, there's just like I feel like I'm being pulled in every direction, and I just don't know what to do. Like work is gearing up, school with midterms and then exams after that are like really stepping up. I'm trying to take on more like volunteering commitments. Um, and there's just like I feel like there's so much on my plate and I can't possibly get everything done, or like even like do well on things. It's just there's a lot.
Okay, so with work, do you feel like you're working too much right now?
I guess so. Like the amount of hours that I'm taking on is a lot. It's just hard to balance like between like paying bills and tuition and things like that, um, while at the same time like not letting anybody down. Um, like we are like restructuring the company, and I just feel like they're asking more, from me, and that I just don't want to like make anybody mad or let anybody down.
And do you feel like maybe work is taking you away from school and your other responsibilities and being able to juggle the rest of your life? Do you feel like it's taking over at all?
In some ways, like it is. I think part of it is I'm letting it take away, and I'm not like I'm trying really hard not to let school slip up or let like volunteering slip up. So I feel like I'm like letting myself sleep less or letting like myself have fewer like kind of recharge or like self care days. Um, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like you want work to be one of your bigger priorities right now, or do you feel like the school and volunteering really need to be like your top priorities right now and what you should be spending a lot of time on?
That's a good question. And like I think in a perfect world, like school and volunteering would be like my priorities that I work on, but like those things cost money, and it's just like I have to pay for them somehow,
Of
and I
course.
just feel like work is the only way to do that at this moment. So I'm just like very overwhelmed with making those decisions of like this is important, but in order for me to do it, I have to keep working.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, do you think, are you able to work any less than what you're currently working to be able to balance out your other responsibilities?
If I'm being honest, probably. I'm really bad at saying no, and I find like when people call in sick and it's my day off, I'll pick up the shift. I just like really struggle with not feeling like I'm inconveniencing people or I'm upsetting people. So I do think like maybe when I get that phone call, I could be better about saying like, no, I really need to take the day and study rather than just saying, yeah, I'll be there and showing up.
And it sounds like you have a pretty supportive management team then to
Mm-hmm.
talk to about this sort of thing.
Yeah, my manager is a student, so I know she understands. She like works 40 hours a week and is a full-time student though, so I feel like if she can balance that, why shouldn't I be able to balance that? Um, yeah, it's just like hard not to measure myself against other people.
Of course, but you have to remember to take time for yourself so you can
Yeah.
balance all of these responsibilities
Mm.
too. Do you think there's anything in terms of school that could help you maybe manage exams or your homework a bit easier?
I was keeping a journal at the beginning of the year, and I found that really helpful because it kind of like it almost like took the mental load away from like remembering like this due date and this due date and this appointment and this like class it just kind of organized things so I didn't have to think about it. I could just like know what was in um, my like planner, but I've kind of gotten away from that.
Okay. Did you find that it was pretty beneficial for you though to have that all
Mhm.
planned out in advance?
Yeah, it was definitely like a little bit of a load off my shoulders. Like when I knew like if I took like an hour a week and just kind of like planned out my week schedule with like work and volunteering, even like I could put social commitments in there too, um, and just sort of know that everything was in one place, and that way things weren't slipping through my brain. Um, which I kind of feel like they're doing right now.
Okay, so it sounds like in the past when you've had to do this sort of thing, it's really worked for you to kind of schedule out what you have to do for work and school and your other social commitments to make sure that you have time for yourself and that you allot enough time to each responsibility essentially.
Yeah, that's a good point. That probably is something I should get back to because like you're saying, like it gives me that kind of like allotted, like it's a visual representation of what my week looks like, and I can kind of compartmentalize like this is school time, this is work time, this is sitting with my cat time, and like kind of having time to recharge.
Yeah, and we could always see how that goes over the next like
Yeah.
few weeks and see how it goes. Like if you decide to talk to your management at work about maybe working a bit less or even just like scheduling more time for yourself in between all of your responsibilities. We can see how that works out for you.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan to definitely talk to them about that. Even just saying, because I do know I have such a hard time with saying no, like asking, like if it's my day off, like please don't call me. And they're really good at respecting boundaries. I'm just not as good at setting them.
Well, I hope it would also help you feel less scrambled to maybe just have everything set aside in a planner for you.
It's a really good word for it. I definitely feel that like I am scrambled currently. I'm really looking forward to winter break, but it seems so far away right now.
And I'm sure with the Christmas season amping up, you feel like more responsibility to have to work more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
like I really do put a lot of like onus on myself to be like a really good employee and be like a good representation of the company. And I am a supervisor too, so and a key holder. So I already have a lot of responsibility when I'm there. So it just, I guess, I do feel like I'm obligated to always be like showing up and like supporting people, especially when people are feeling overwhelmed. I'm like always the first one to be like, I'll take your shift.
And you don't find like your work is like a place of stress then, or do you find it still a pretty stressful place to work?
I would say it's pretty good, like in terms of being there, like it's pretty relaxed. But sometimes I'm there and I feel like I should be doing 12 other things. Like I'll be at work and I'm like, oh, I should be like studying right now, or I should be like just doing something else. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe in the future, whenever you come back, we can talk about what it's been like for you to sort of like schedule these things out for you and juggle your responsibilities that way. Just because it sounds like you've been feeling very overwhelmed and stressed from having everything kind of up in the air and kind of just rolling with like a day-to-day schedule and not really planning time for you in between all of those moments as well.
No, I think that probably is a good idea because it is a little too day-to-day. I definitely want to get back into the planner because I think that'll help, and I think talking to work about like not calling me and just like scheduling things and being a little bit gentler on myself might be a good place to start.
Yeah, of course. And maybe another way would maybe be to incorporate self-care into like while you're at work or while you're at school. Is that something that you think is possible?
Definitely.
Just little moments for yourself or things that make you happy throughout the day to make it a bit better of a day for you.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely do that because I really worry about like budgeting and things like that. But I think like maybe being a little bit nicer and being like I can buy myself that coffee or get a snack like when I'm at work would be like a good place to start.
Amazing. Well, how about when you come in next week, will you talk about how your week has been and all the progress that we've made?
Cool. I like it. I'll see you next week.
All right.